show! I am Wolfie your evil GM for today. And I am back with Geddon with a special guest, the new, soon-to-be added extra party member for Geddon. Yes, we're doing this again. Deadbird or Steph, say hi to everybody.
Hi.
Barely came up on Discord there, give me a moment. I will crank your volume even further. We did a sound check before this, guys, I promise.
I mean, I did say hi.
You did say hi. I know, but it just, like, barely blipped on my audio. But yes, we are adding a new player, and it should be a lot of fun. There's definitely going to be character creation today. There may be session 0, depending on how long this goes. It'll be a short one either way.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
See. I'm a mum at the end of the day.
Exactly, yeah. You have small to look after.
Yeah. Who's currently banging on my radio, yeah.
But yeah, so you are going to be playing Trash Rack. Is that literally your character's name, by the way?
Yes.
Fair enough, fair enough. The Nyctera, which is the race's name. Nyctera.
Oh, is that because I've got to type it in, is it?
Yes. It's your character sheet, and I'm gonna look up. I've got to find all my stuff. Essentially, I'm gonna have enough stuff to grab without having to type up it as well. This is the player's job to keep a track of their own character sheet as much as they can.
Blech.
Yep. They don't have sub races; they are just the race. So that is that. Okay, so you are a barbarian starting, I'm assuming, because I know you're going to be a monk, right, as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how to do that in Roll20?
Yeah.
Cool. They are level 8, by the way, I did check.
Cool, that's fun.
I actually remembered to check what level the party was. They're going to be leveling up in a session or two, but they have to actually do something that's worthy of leveling besides not to get eaten by giant spiders, which was basically what last session was.
With my race, do I get any strength dex?
You do indeed. You get +1 strength, +2 dex, +1 charisma.
Oh, that's quite good.
Cool. Yeah. It's ones for the race specifically. Little on the weaker side for stats as far as Geddon races go, but it's got no negatives. Like, the race has 0 negatives, which is the big part. Because a few of the races have weird negatives one way or the other. Your race doesn't. There is no one that is horribly racist against them. There is no one that particularly dislikes them in any way. There's no like negative dexterity modifiers or anything like a couple of races have. They're just good.
Size?
They are medium. They can vary between the shorter end of medium to literally flat out medium. They're like a little bit smaller than humans on average, but depending on the type of human, admittedly, for Geddon. They're much smaller than Drawdoor humans, that's the important one.
And speed?
Speed is 35.
Cool.
So a little bit faster than average.
Do they have any proficiencies?
No proficiencies other than languages.
Cool. And then you told me about their feature, and I have already forgotten it. Something to do with friends.
Yeah, their main feature. They have a few others as well, but this is their main one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, actually, no, they do technically have 1 proficiency extra. They automatically get proficiency with the longsword. You already have that anyway, but it's just a racial thing as well. They all can use a longsword.
Cool.
Their main racial trait is, what was it called? I think it was literally like Shield of Ally or something like that. I can't remember the exact name because I've got it written down, the ability, but I haven't got the name written down. Or I can't find the book that I wrote it down in because I've got like 15 notebooks. It was called like Shield of Ally or something like that.
Cool.
Advantage on saving throws versus fear. If an ally is in danger, they gain immunity to fear instead, as long as that ally is in danger. Now, that could mean a lot of things, but the big one is essentially if you're solo, you're never getting the immunity. If you're with a team, there's a chance, depending on what's happening, that you could get immunity.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad ability overall. Already told you about the pluses to stats. Also, for some reason, it's kept your character sheet on like the final page, which is kind of interesting.
It's because I like to use the character mancer to start it off with, because it just makes life so much easier.
Do that.
Yeah. It's just the way I like to do my characters.
Yeah, that's perfectly fair. They get keen hearing and smell. Do you know what that means?
Keen senses, yeah.
Yeah, just for hearing and smell. They've not got amazingly good vision compared to others, but they've got keen hearing and smell, which is nice.
Yeah, I like that.
60-foot dark vision.
Sorry, there is a baby crying.
It's fine. It's okay, Spar. And for your languages, because of how languages work in Geddon, essentially, a lot of the languages are a combination of multiples, essentially.
Okay.
Basically, we're using, for getting languages, you're getting the standard D&D array of languages, with maybe a couple extras if there's, like, dialects. But basically, mostly, they're just going to be dialects. There are certain languages that aren't available to be gotten, but if you understand any of these set of languages per language, you have a way of, like, communicating with this person, essentially. So, Nerian is one of the languages. If you speak Draconic, Giant, or Sylvan, you can get the gist of what someone is saying and can communicate with them, essentially. If you have any of those languages. Okay?
Sense?
Yeah. So, as a Terra, you get Common. Pretty much everyone in Geddon speaks Common, but
Yeah.
monsters don't always speak Common. That's the main thing. And you get, because you are from the continent of Arcadia, you get to pick a choice of Abyssal, Sylvan, or Giant. Because those are the three languages that roughly make up Arcadian.
Gonna get a giant.
Giant's a good shout.
Plus, I think it would be funny. Short little rat dog thing. Giant.
Very much, yeah. Yeah, I did just...
Tell them to F off in their own language.
Yeah, for the audience possibly watching at home for this, Nyctera, there are basically Tanuki people. They have a very large variety of what they can look like. They can either look straight up like raccoon people, like full on like Rocket Raccoon but taller, or they can look like your classic like anime beast person, so the little ears, the tail, but not much else to distinguish them from a human other than the slight like build differences, essentially. They can look anything between that. So. And it is not locked to gender, just for reference as well. Just because it's an anime world does not mean that every girl looks like a cute anime girl and every dude looks like a monster. It doesn't work like that.
No. I mean, I haven't figured out what they exactly look like yet. I'm working on that.
Yeah. The main points they've got raccoonish ears and a tail. That's about all you've got. Okay, and that is your racial stuff done.
Cool.
Short little list, but it's not a bad race at all.
Right, I want to roll some dice. So,
Yes.
you said it is rolls, not an array. So,
Yeah.
what was I rolling again?
5d6 dropping 2, and that's each stat. Because Geddon, and my D&D games in general, but particularly Geddon, I like to stat my players a little bit higher, and 5d6 dropping 2 means you're more likely to get good stats. Well,
You need to roll at 6, right?
yes. So you've got a 9.
Yep. 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 9.
11. 14, 13, 16, and 15. Not a bad stat array, honestly.
Alright, 9's going straight into intelligence.
Yep.
I think that one's pretty obvious.
Yeah, that's what I did. With my barbarian in Altera, I got like 3 good stats, 2 mediocre stats, and a 7. Guess where the 7 went? Ah. It's fine, Alvina's pretty, so... pretty and very, very aggressive. She doesn't need intelligence. Okay. You good stats all around, then, yeah.
Cool.
The 2 decks will definitely help as well, honestly.
Yeah. So far, it's looking 17 strength, 16 dex, 15 con, 9 intelligence, 13 wisdom, 12 charisma.
Yeah. Pretty decent stat line.
Cool.
And
Right.
because because you're level 8 at the moment, you can, if you want, like, either stat or get a feat that will boost that con to 16 if you like. Which isn't bad, actually, yeah.
I've not yet worked out what background I want.
Yeah, well, since Arcadia is one of the least... It's one of the continents I haven't gotten too fleshed out yet. The big ones I've got in Arcadia is the majority of Arcadia is taken up by the Grand Empire of Arcadia, essentially. So there's a lot of little kingdoms in between. So various potential ones are up for grabs on that. A lot of the other races that appear in Arcadia are what you'd expect from a little more Japanesey folklore. In a lot of cases, not in every case. But that is the continent that the Oni and the Kitsune come from. I believe. They are not part of the Empire, those 2 races, for reference, but they are on the same continent.
Well, I was thinking I might go exile, because that could be funny.
Yeah, you could definitely go exile, that would work. Exile background. Is that an official one? I can't find it.
Send it to you.
Cheers, yeah. Dankeschön. 5e background exile. DnDwiki.com. Ah, it's a homebrew, that'll be why. Okay, let's have it. Yeah, it's a homebrew.
Okay, well. See what you think.
Yeah, if it's an okay homebrew, I'll be fine with it. Okay, so freedom and protection or survival. Double art of tools. Equipment. Winter blanket. A reminder of home. Aw. Echoes of the past. Previous life hasn't left you knowledge, but ways cheap. Ah, okay, so it's basically it's kind of folk hero, but with different proficiencies. I'm cool with that. Yeah, it's pretty much folk hero with different proficiency. I'm fine with this one. They didn't do a thing which I'm always nervous about with homebrew backgrounds and give it like an insane ability. Yeah, I am fine with you being an exile with that one. You have Elvish or Dwarvish. That'll be a weird... either one of those would be very weird. In Arcadia, Elven's more likely, I'll say.
I'll go with them then. It fits in better with your story.
Yeah. Because Elven and Dwarven is only really spoken in the Warring Kingdom in Geddon.
Okay.
And elves are more likely to travel outside of the Warring Kingdom than dwarves, because dwarves live underground. And elves live on floating boats. Boat cities, essentially. So, they're much more likely to actually go to other places, so let's go with that one. Also, there's an elf in the party, which is always a convenient bit, so. Yes, Rue.
Cat again, huh?
Yeah. I just scratched Rue on the back, she went, meow! In indignation. Come here.
And an artisan tool. God.
Yeah, the huge list of artisan tools.
I'll pick that at another time, because
Oh!
I know me, I'll never use it.
You might actually. The party's actually looking for some with an artisan tool type, actually, at the moment.
God.
They are genuinely looking for a weaver. I am not kidding.
Okay.
The party's actually looking for a seamstress right now. I
can imagine my really, angry character having a hobby of knitting.
You're Stallone from Demolition Man.
Oh my god.
I don't know why. Since I woke up, I just wanted to knit.
Let's do it. That'll be funny.
Yeah.
That would just be funny.
Considering how I'm planning on actually introducing you to the party, yes, it would be very funny. You are not at all going to be essentially knocked unconscious by a giant spider venom that was meant to preserve you, and you were put in with the party's rations. It's a plan.
Right. That is done. Cool. Do you do class equipment?
Yes. You get all... That reminds me. Any piece of gear that you have, so be it an artisan tool, armour, weaponry, automatically a +1.
Oh.
Welcome to Geddon.
Okay.
The cutlery is magic items. It is the highest category of high magic world. It has a higher magic threshold than most divine planes in other D&D. So, literally everything is magical. It also does mean that if you actually, for some reason, have cutlery, it is technically +1 cutlery.
What's the ages like with the Tanuki race thing?
The Nectera, standard human. I was like, I'm pretty sure they've just standard human because I didn't note it down. They are standard human ages, so age at roughly the same rate as humans. They live a little longer. They average at around 100 instead of 80, but that's about it. So you live a little bit longer, but otherwise it's the same.
Well, they're going to be fairly youngish, so let's go with that. Cool. Right.
Okay. Awesome. For your hit points, by the way, or do we want to like level you up piece by piece and then we can do it?
Well, you said with hit points, it's just max, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's depending if you get a feat or not, which might actually just edit the number. It'd be a bus. Do you want to get it just sorted now, or do you want to do it later? Say if you increase your constitution,
hit points
whatever
at the end.
Go.
Because I'm just gonna blast past. Alright.
Oh, that reminds me, by the way, because of how... Because I know you're... Actually, no, you're going to be a monk beast barbarian, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yes, you probably won't have a shield anyway. Never mind. I was about to say, the thing I do allow for beast barbarians, because I find it's more thematic, you are allowed to have a shield and just have it on your back. Essentially, it counts. Because of how the class works.
Yeah.
I like the thematics of, you're a beast barbarian, you should go all in, but, like, practicality, you really should have a shield. There's no reason not to with the class, so I basically say, you can have the shield just on your back. Just, maybe fine. But you're monk, so I think you lose a few abilities if you have a shield, so never mind.
Oh, 20. I haven't got the path already chosen. That is so annoying. That would have made life easier.
Yeah.
It happens.
Beast Barbarian. Very, very, very fun class, I have to say. Having played one in a campaign... year before last, I think. My gigantic lizard man barbarian. Oh, that was a fun campaign.
Right. I'm gonna leave the feet for a second.
Okay.
Because I need to look through them. Right, so let's now do the monk.
Yeah. And you were dragon monk, right?
Yeah.
I believe I said this. I'm not sure if I did or not, but I believe I meant to if I didn't. Because of how your combination of classes and things works, I am totally cool with you using your monk, your dragon monk. Change the element of your attacks for your barbarian weaponry.
Oh, nice.
It's just cool as far as I'm concerned. So yes, you can do that, even if it's not technically your unarmed attack. It's like it's cool enough.
Yeah. Oh, I get to pick another language as well for that. And I think, well, because of course your Draconic is different.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is other Draconic. It is Nerian, technically, is the dragon language in this, because... Yeah. Well, Nerian is one of the dragon languages, but they all speak like a weird one that nobody knows other than them. So... Yeah. Draconic can technically work because there is like a... Essentially, you could describe it as low Draconic and high Draconic.
Mm-hmm.
So low Draconic is for the dragons that aren't true dragons. It would work for. So like the Leviathan that the party encountered, that speaks Draconic.
Yeah. Because that's what I was thinking, is I'll go for the Draconic, but I know it won't be the official big language.
Yeah. It helps you with, like, understanding Nerian, which is another one which, Smith in the party actually also speaks Draconic. It's quite a common one. It's a fairly common one in, the Northern Human Kingdom, which is the closest to the border with Neria. Because Nerian is basically Sylvan, Giant, and Draconic mixed together as a language. So, people go, it's best not to piss them off.
Yeah.
Considering that it's the most powerful military nation on the planet. With one of the lowest populations, which shows you how scary they are. I like, by the way, that your stat line almost identical to Alvina's in the other team. She has 17 strength, 17 dex, 16 con. You're more intelligent than her. You've got one more wisdom than her, and I think you've got the same charisma. Oh no, I've got 0 charisma. You've got a little bit higher charisma.
I am gonna quickly go and Google all the Beast Barbarian stuff so I can add that on.
Yeah, copy paste that.
Yeah. Luckily, I had some of the books, so I had the Ascendant Dragon stuff on that.
Yeah, you got Fizzbands. It's a good book. Yeah. I want to play that monk at some point. It seems like a blast.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that the way I've worked it out is extra attacks obvious, but it's the breath weapon. You imagine having like, growing a giant claws or something and having the breath weapon. That'd just be hilarious.
Yeah. And honestly, eventually the beast barbarian can give people rabies, which is very funny. I never got to that level with my one, but beast barbarian is no joke. Particularly its tail. The tail's the best one, honestly.
Yeah.
The tail's so good. I actually have an idea for a future character that's part beast barbarian. Like a little bit beast barbarian. It's based on the... have you been playing Elden Ring?
No, Lewis has been playing it though.
Fantastic game. There's an enemy in there called the Crucible Knight.
Yeah.
That one of its abilities is it summons a giant dragon tail and hits you with it. But it's like a full plate mail armored warrior. And I was like, I can make a paladin beast barbarian in like half plate. That just summons a tail to use purely defensively.
Yeah.
I think that'd be kind of fun actually. I might do that at some point. So that's a one-shot character idea at some point. Just play this like heavy armored paladin with a tail.
You need to get the next level.
Yeah. Back in a second when my cat's just trying to break down the door.
Okay.
Yes, Errol, I can hear you. I'm working right now, you're not getting fed yet. You can wait a couple hours. I am back.
Right, I've done it.
Nice.
Yeah, so now I just need to pick. Do I want to do an ability score increase or a feat?
Yeah, it's always an important one, that, isn't it?
Yeah. It's always a difficult one because there are so many good feats out there. But also, do I want more health?
Yeah. Particularly now, there's actually even more feats. Like, there's the dragon feats from Fizzbands, which are all fantastic. They're like, all three of them are some of the best feats in the entire game for pretty much any build.
Yeah.
I personally am a biggest fan of Chromatic. The Chromatic Dragon one from that. Just be even tankier.
Yeah.
I always like that.
Gift of the Chromatic Dragon.
Yeah. Also helps that Chromatic Dragons have always been my favourite dragons for standard D&D.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's real good. All three of them are very good, but that's the
Yeah.
one that really speaks to me. I love the Metallic Dragon as well, because it's got the Paladin wings from Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah.
Which I think is just cool.
Yeah, they are ridiculous.
Yeah, all three are very, very cool abilities, which is the most important thing for me. Like, they're all good and they're very cool, which is big win in my book.
Ooh.
As always, like, I know you're very well aware of this. Lucky's the only feat I ban. Not because I think it's overpowered or anything, I just think it's always too good a choice, essentially. So for the audience as well, that's the reason I ban Lucky. Not because it's an overpowered feat. I don't think it's that bad, actually.
It's not that bad at all.
It's just, it's a, well, I might as well pick this feat up at some point. It's like, no, be creative, is what I do, is why I ban it. Because taking Lucky out of the equation encourages people to pick other feats they wouldn't normally pick, is what I find. Because most people have like 1 or 2 spare feats by the end of their build that they can just go, why not? And because quite often that's taken for Lucky. So, like, nah, just have some fun. Also, luck cannot dissuade the might of Geddon's dice. These dice are rolling this way. If you have a different ability which works the same way, that I'm fine with. But
Actually, just increase my con.
just increase it. Your thing is, you can pick a feat that increases your con as well.
Yeah. Well, thing is, what I could do is increase my con and my strength, so I'd have a +4 modifier to strength and a +3 to con.
Yeah. I will say, as the players have commented, feats are the way to go in Geddon because I'm likely to give you stat increasing items already. And boons. You remember how you've been in one of my campaigns before. You know how I like to just stat players to the moon. So feats are never a bad choice in one of my games because extra abilities are always good. Stats can be compensated for in other ways. Saying to the what's Smith's current strength total? Smith got down to size because of a magical effect last session. Actually, it anti-mutated him. Smith currently has 40 strength, so 40 strength and 33 constitution. So don't be afraid of. I am going to probably upscale your stats at some point if you do the right things. So. I'll actually look up feats myself to see if I can find anything cool. But
I'm so many, but
yeah. I mean, athlete's never a bad shot. You don't need alert. You're a barbarian. Durable isn't terrible. Actually, durable is kind of terrible because the two things you want the stat increase in, you already have proficiency. Mage Slayer's pretty worthless in Geddon. Tough's never bad. Grappler. I know it's missing out a couple of things. There we go. Yeah, the dragon gifts are all there. Don't really need weapons master, you're a monk beast barbarian.
yeah.
If any class does not need like to gain even exotic weapons, it's that class. Oh! Competence, probably not a terrible one. I think that only applies if you take it in strength and don't have athletics, though. Sentinel doesn't really work in Geddon because of the rule that if something is too big, it doesn't care if you've got Sentinel. You cannot stop a dragon from walking there, even if you have Sentinel. It's not a thing it would care about in like practicality. Mobile's never a bad shout, actually. Ooh, one that might not be a bad shout, actually. Expert. Because you could get expert in athletics. Because basically it would give you +1 strength and expertise in athletics. If you took the expert feat.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good, honestly. That's all it does, but getting you to 18 strength with expertise athletics is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Particularly when you start getting, if you start doing the things that would increase your strength score to like crazy values. Having that expertise to add another like +3 or so onto it, it could really matter.
Mm.
Would it be like you've got expertise in athletics and your strength 40, so you've got a +21 to athletics checks.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do expertise.
Yeah.
Expertise.
It's the feat itself is called expert. Obviously, it can be taken multiple times, but for strength, it can only be taken once because there's only one strength skill. Aww.
You can hear it, can you?
Yeah.
She's adorable.
Sounds it.
Okay, cool. So we'll gain expertise. There we go.
Nice. Yeah, with an 18 strength. Yeah, don't forget to put your strength up by 1.
Yeah.
So you've got a +10 to athletics, which is pretty good considering you've got like a fairly normal strength score.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Breath of the Dragon. I forgot that was super early.
Oh yeah, it's level 3.
Yeah, I always forget it's super early. I always remember like the punching is early, and for some reason I keep thinking that Breath of the Dragon is level 5 ability.
Yeah.
For some reason, I always forget it's actually real early. It'll definitely help. I don't actually think the party has much AoE damage, which is weird considering they've got 2 sorcerers.
Yeah. Well,
I think they only have Zariel as like the dedicated AoE character.
yeah.
And she's a bit unpredictable because sometimes she just decides to punch the monster, which is very fun.
Oh.
But
Fair enough.
it's fine. She's a cat person, so she's got claws. Okay. Oh yeah, your armor class is 15, by the way, currently. It automatically calculated it down to 14 because it hates people.
15.
I bet I know why. I bet it took your monk one instead of your barbarian one.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So your health is that. You've got your background abilities written in. Draconic, Elvish, Giant, Longsword, Martial Weapons, Short Sword, Simple Weapons, Medium Armor, Light Armor, Shields.
Okay.
Ooh, we got +1 glaive. That could be handy.
Oh, need to put the +1s on them.
Yeah. I like that you can attack with your backpack, by the way.
Yeah, like, what?
That's a new one. I'll allow it.
Bloody hell. Oh, I'm still on auto advantage. Let's change
I have
that.
got not an auto advantage. Don't auto roll damage and things. Yeah.
Whisper toggle. Auto roll damage.
Yeah.
There we go. And then.
You could technically always get advantage because Barbarian. You could reckless attack with a backpack.
But it apparently only does 4 damage.
It does pure strength in damage, I guess. Unfortunately, you do not have Tavern Brawler, so you can't just beat people to death with a D4 damage dice backpack. Only Jay gets to kill people with his backpack, and that's mainly because he literally built a suit of magical plate mail for his backpack. I am not kidding. The backpack has an AC of, I think, 21. Okay, that is that bit done. Okay. So, we've gotten that, we've gotten that. Oh, your proficiencies have blanked out for some reason. Your saving throw proficiencies.
Ah. Oh god. I don't even remember what I get.
Are you Barbarian to start with?
Yeah.
Strength and Con.
There we go then.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's like, that's for the fighting classes. I know, for all of their saving throws as defaults.
Well, that's because you're obsessed with must ball everything.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Stick to what you know. I know how to punch things real hard.
I would like it known that my backpack damages people because they've got caltrops in the front pocket.
He's just got
Why?
spikes.
Yeah. That's why.
Ah. Yeah, I have the yes, they are playing a Dragon Monk. Dragon Monk Beast Barbarian combo. It's a neat one.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes, if I'm honest. Right. Okay. So oh yeah, we need to do your natural magic and explain just how your natural magic exactly works.
Yeah.
So you wanted to control iron.
Yeah.
Is it turning into a dragon with extra steps? Kinda.
Pretty
Mini
much,
dragon.
yeah.
Mini dragon. Okay, so your natural magic, you wanted it to be controlling iron, right?
Yeah.
And you want it to basically be, for the definition of it, because that's obviously a terra magic. Like, pretty much anything to do with metal is a terra magic.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you want it to be electromagnet style, which we could technically do, which would kind of work the same way, but that'd be life. But terra's easier. Do you want to have to be in contact with it?
No.
Okay, you want to be just like at a range potentially doing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, not ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, getting within like short range essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can define that as a just it's short range and then play it by ear, which is what the natural magic basically is done.
I just want to be able to be in a tavern. The barman pisses me off, and I just whack him in the back of the head with the cast iron skillet that I'm asking to come towards me because it's made up of a weapon.
So you got Magneto style, got it?
That'd be
Bonk!
hilarious.
Yeah, that would work. You could also make it go pretty quick. So we're gonna go at a fairly short range. You can't create metal constructs. You can only manipulate ones that are already there. And it has to be iron or an alloy of iron. So it wouldn't work on adamant, any of the dragon metals, or anything like that. It would only work on like iron, steel, that kind of things.
Yeah.
So you're gonna find a ton of that in like the less broken kingdoms, let's call it that. You're going to find it a lot in like the Orc kingdoms, parts of the kingdom that you guys will currently be in, which is the demonic kingdom in the south of Netris. All the human kingdoms, iron and steel is still quite common. But it's going to be very uncommon in other places, just to make you aware of that. Like, iron is almost non-existent in Neria, for instance. So, it's going to be very powerful depending on where you are. Okay, so how you calculate your natural magic. The amount of points. You get these every round. And you can either augment your abilities that you already have with them. So say if you wanted to... let's go with... You're trying to attack something that is on fire. So you don't want to actually come into contact with it with your natural weapons. You can go... There's like an iron plate over there. I'm going to put it over my hand with my natural magic to hit someone with it, and you'll like maybe get a bit of extra damage, and you won't take as many negatives for hitting something. So you might get like resistance to the fire damage, say. You cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one way you can use it. You can use it to augment your actions. You can use it to augment your reactions. You can like do special reactions for it. So say your character could pull down like a metal shutter, essentially.
Yeah.
As a reaction to stop like a blast from hitting the party, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You can also just do it. You get it as a free action every turn. You get at least one thing that you can just do with your natural magic. It's depending on what you want to do. It'll cost a different number of points, but you get them back at the start of your turn.
Okay.
It is your proficiency modifier plus your level in points. Depending on how difficult the task is, obviously it uses different amounts, but and also certain ones will be more powerful effects the more points you put in, which is the big one. Play it by ear, obviously. Like moving a pan, not going to take much. Moving a pan to fly across the room and hit someone pretty hard, that'll be like maybe 2 points. Swing the pan across the room and embed it in a concrete wall, that'll probably cost about 7 points. It's a lot harder to do, essentially. Because as weird and wonderful as Geddon is, it still has to obey even some vague laws of physics.
Yeah. Huh?
And obviously moving bigger objects is going to cost more, and moving larger distances is also going to cost more.
Yeah.
But also you get more damage out of it, so it'll be worth it, I think. Or defense, potentially.
Yeah.
Right, so... you should have more speed than that, by the way.
You sure?
Yep.
So my natural is 35, and then
You'll
plus
find
speed is another 10.
plus 10 for Barbarian.
Oh. God.
Yeah, Barbarian gets unarmored movement as well, but it only gets 10 feet extra at level 4? I actually don't remember they get the extra speed, but I know they get it.
Then well, let's look it up.
Yeah.
The barbarian.
I believe it's early. It might be level 6, though. But it's pretty early.
Fast movement at 5th.
Yeah, you have it. So I know it's early. I don't remember exactly how early. So yeah, you're at 55 movement speed.
At best.
Yeah. I think you're the second fastest party member. Smith gets insane speed because mutations, essentially. He mutated to be gigantic, so he's got just long legs, so he's at 70 movement speed around.
Yeah.
But that's just weird augments in game. You might get some starting items which make you faster, honestly. Because you're going to be starting with some items. I haven't figured out the items yet, but we'll make them up on the fly. It's got to fit your character. That's the main thing. Okay. So we've got that. We've got that. Yeah, natural magic, terror, iron or alloy of iron. Can basically manipulation.
Yeah.
Would be the name of it. Just for an ease of bookkeeping, essentially, so I can keep a track of what your guys' natural magics all do, which is a pain in the ass, I'll tell you that. It's like, yeah, you can do that. Or, nah, you can't quite do that. I think Smith's going to be happy that there's another person that's natural magic can actually be completely fucked over by terrain.
Yeah.
Which currently he's been the only one that's had that negative so far. But you've also both got very powerful natural magics, so...
But you've also got to remember that I don't like it when everything, it's all happy good and no downsides. I like downsides. Downsides are funny.
Yeah.
Trees.
Yep, trees. Don't worry about that, one audience. That is an in-joke, which will probably come up repeatedly in the campaign.
Oh my god. My rack is going to have, this complex.
You're going to go on great with the Fae. You're going to go on very well with the Arc Fae that can literally augment themselves in essentially tree mechs whenever they want to.
Why am I so effed up about this? What is going on?
Why I have trauma about trees? What the fuck? But yes, okay, so... Shall we do your health now? Because I've got a feeling I'm not going to give you a health-increasing magic item. So we can do your health now.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so it is basically max for every level, which is the big one. So you've got 5 levels in Barbarian.
Yeah, so that's 12 times 5, isn't it?
12 times 5 plus... 12 times 5. Which is... 60?
Yeah, 60.
Yeah, quick math. You get 60 from that, and 3 into Monk, which is 8 per...
That's 24, so...
84 plus 16 is 100. You've got exactly 100 health.
Okay, we'll go with 100.
Yeah. I'm actually happy that you didn't get a +1 to con now, otherwise it'd have taken it to 108.
Yeah, I like 100. I like a flat number.
Nice and round. Okay. What is it, Rue? Rue just demanded my attention for some reason. She wants petting. Okay, she wants petting. She's now chewing on my hand.
Yeah. Typical cat.
Yeah. It's affectionate chewing, it's fine. Okay, so there's that. Let's do your items. You get a couple of extra items. You see, you're level 8, and the party's gotten quite a large number recently. So I think I can give you 2 major items and 3 minor items. Let's go with that. What do you want your major items to be styled like, essentially? Do you want them to be offensive, defensive? What are you fancying?
I'm playing a trash panda, so let's go with it looks like trash. It's
Fair.
not trash.
I mean, the trash in Geddon is also technically magical, so...
Yeah, but then they're all like that, all the people, so it's just trash. But it does mean, this at some point I want a bag of holding for myself.
A special bag of holding. Because bag of holdings don't technically exist in Geddon. There's weird variants of them which do strange things.
I want some sort of,
Loot bag?
loot bag.
You can have a loot bag. A loot bag is an item that would exist. It's not exactly a bag of holding, it's got other effects.
Yeah.
But effectively, in a lot of ways, it counts the same-ish way as a bag of holding. Basically, one of the big things of it, it's essentially a TARDIS bag. It's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside.
Yeah.
And it doesn't give you any extra carry weight, essentially, for any items stored in it.
Okay. But I could put like my glaive in it and not have to carry that around all the time.
Yeah, 100%.
There we go.
Yeah,
And I have a loot bag, please.
Yeah, that is a major item. It has a bunch of other effects in it. For instance, you can actually keep people in it with no downsides, unlike a bag of holding.
Okay.
Food remains fresh in it, which I think is like a bag of holding, technically. But if you have a creature in it, time doesn't just stop for it. It's just in there. It's just basically like, you know the trunk in Harry Potter that they kept Mad-Eye Moody in?
Yeah.
Kind of that.
Could I long rest in my own bag?
You could. That you technically could. There'd be no reason that anyone couldn't just go, oh, sweet, a bag.
Yeah.
And you can still be damaged in the bag and everything like that. Like, if someone destroys the bag while you're in it, it's gonna hurt. But it isn't gonna throw you into the void.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be as if someone set your house on fire.
So, instead of me just being, you know, put unconscious as rations, my bag could have been put in their bags.
Maybe. Well, I was thinking, because of where they are currently, because currently where they're being, they are getting a night's rest in the big ass cave palace of the Spider Queen Laneth, who is one of the titans in the world. And they have seen, on multiple occasions, people being carried away and eaten by the giant spiders. So I think a fun one would be, basically, you're wrapped up in silk.
Yeah.
In spider silk. Just been thrown into their bag as like a gift of, here's some supplies for you. And they just untie this unconscious raccoon person. little tanuki person.
Yeah.
In the bag.
Yeah, that sounds hilarious.
Yeah, I think it'd be very funny, being the main one. So yeah, that would be one of your major items. What would you like your other one to be styled as, essentially?
It needs to be some sort of trash.
Yeah. It could be like trash armor. Like, it wouldn't count as actual armor, obviously. Be an armor slot item, essentially. Which basically, one of the things I have is since everything is locational attunement, there is an armor slot, which would count for all armors, which is actually like the one that affects like unarmored movement, things like that. It's the armor slot. There are items that can go into the armor slot, which are not armor, but they take up the same attunement slot. So,
it could be, it's a potato bag, and potatoes is written upside down, and that's my armor.
A potato bag?
And it does something interesting.
Okay. Potato bag. Augmented potato bag. Alright, what would be a fun one for it? Alright. Okay, I've got an idea for it. So, here's what it is. It's going to be the potato bag. That's what the sugar is going to be named.
Yep.
And it's going to have a few different effects. First, if you take fire damage on a turn, until, for the next 2 turns, until the end of your turn after your next one, essentially, you increase your armor class by 4.
Oh, God.
After you take fire damage. You have to take the fire damage, so you can't be immune to it. Okay?
This is AC by 4 for 2 turns.
Yeah. If you take bludgeoning damage, after you've taken the damage, you gain, let's go with 1d10 temporary hit points.
Do I take the damage from the bludgeoning hit or not?
Yes, you take it first. Again, you can't be immune to it. You can be resistant to it, but it's literally an instance of fire damage. It could be 1 fire damage or 1 bludgeoning damage. But there has to be damage done, essentially.
Yeah.
If you are ever submerged in water, what would be a decent one for that? You float. Let's go with you float in water. Automatically.
Ooh.
And what would be another good one? Do you get the theme that I'm going for here, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay. How about you are you are afraid of hot oil. While attuned to this item, you have a fear of hot oil. So you can turn
nightmares about chips.
Pretty much. Yeah, roast potatoes have high armor, mashed potatoes have temporary hit points, and and boiled potatoes float. That's what you get. Or I could do steamed potatoes as well. I like steamed potatoes.
Yeah, steamed potato.
We've got to do another one for steamed. Oh, that'd be an interesting one. You take 0 damage from geysers. Let's go with. You are immune to damage from geysers while wearing it. It's a very specific one, but it might come up.
It's worrying.
Yeah. Water geysers only. I just realised I should really say that one. I'm not having you just casually immune lava spouts. I'm sorry.
I was about to say.
Water-based geysers is fine. Lava spouts is not fine. Yeah, I'd say that's a decent little set of weird little upgrades for an item.
It really is. And my character wears a potato bag, and the potato is written upside down.
It's spelt wrong.
Yes. Because that's how she thinks it's spelt. So the E is added.
Okay, that's your major items, which is very funny that you've got a loot bag. You've got 2 bag-based major items.
Yeah.
Wish to point out, for anyone watching, I didn't come up with the bag-based items this time. She did. How many? I said 3 minor items, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. These are just little extra ones. They're gonna have like one fairly okay effect usually.
Mm.
What are you kind of feeling for these? They can be completely utility based. They can actually be like a damage boost, like a +1 to all your natural weapons and punches and things. That could work.
Yeah, I mean that would be useful.
Yeah, magic item. Basically, it's the claws. There's a claws magic item that basically works the same. It basically turns all your natural weapons and unarmed attacks into +1 magic weapons. So you get the magic bonus of 1 and count as magical, because currently your weapons don't actually count as magical, weirdly enough. You get that next level.
We'll say it's a ring or something.
Yeah, whatever you're feeling like.
Calling it the Ring of Awesome.
Ring of Awesome.
Natural. Natural. +1. Useful.
Yep. It's just like pretty nice because with your character not being able to use the magic weapons, and magic weapons again are very powerful.
Yeah.
Having a little bit of an edge, it'll help until you find something that can augment your natural weapons massively, which are things that can happen.
Yeah.
Let me have a think. Another one which would be good. Would you like an item that lets you borrow through solid rock?
That would be hilarious, yeah.
Yeah. Basically, you can flavour the item however you want for looks-wise. This one isn't an attunement item, by the way. This is just an item you have.
It's a tinfoil hat.
Tinfoil hat, cool. That lets you have a 10-foot borrow speed that can go through solid rock. Won't be able to go through anything stronger than normal rock.
Yeah.
But solid rock on its own, that's pretty good. And... Would you like a small boon for your last one instead of another minor item?
It would be useful.
Cool. Take a tiny boon. Let's just call it more experience than most. You gain +1 natural magic per level. You just have one more natural magic than anyone else would have at your level. It's not per level yet. It'd be +1 natural magic, essentially, just flat. So instead of having 11, you'd have 12. Because the whole point of natural magic in Geddon is you can exercise it, essentially, to just make it better. That's the whole reason of why adventurers are adventurers, essentially. They are just trained their natural magic a bit more than your average spod, so they get the natural magic points to work like that. They're not the best in the world, but they're more competent than your average Joe, essentially.
Yeah.
And you'll be happy about that when if you when you watch the couple episodes again and you see them using their natural magic for insane abilities, you'll see what I'm meaning. Okay. That is that. Yeah, that's your items. Okay, so there's one thing that you're gonna get on your character that's gonna be a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry, you're not alone in this item. This is I'll need to find the exact section on it in my notebook. We'll get to this particular bit in the session 0, because we do actually have time for it. I need to find the note to describe it perfectly. And that's my list of elder gods. That's not the right page.
Delaney.
Should be around here somewhere. Here we go, okay. You have on your character, on your right shoulder, a glowing mark. It shines through your clothing, it shines basically just through anything. It is a coruscating, glowing, essentially chaos star, for all intents and purposes. It is an 8-pointed magical star that is glowing on your shoulder. And at each major point is a glowing light of a different colour. Okay? You're going to want to write these down, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. So, northernmost point. We're going to go clockwise, for reference. Is a bright red light. Like pure shining crimson. At 1 o'clock-ish is a blue light. Like an electric blue. At 3 o'clock.
You know, you can say north, northeast.
Oh, I know, but I'm forgetting half of them most of the time. That's the main problem. I'm looking at it on a piece of paper at the moment, and it's easy for me to look at it and just think this is a clock. An indigo light. So not quite purple. It's specifically indigo. 4 or 5 o'clock ish, that kind of area, is a white light. 6 o'clock. This is the one that is hard for people to really envision. It is a pitch black light, like it is glowing black.
So it's a backlight.
Kind of, yeah. It is specifically showing as a black glow, though. Like it is if you actually are in a dark room, it will shine, and it's black, so it looks very strange. But that is the actual light coming off it. Next one along is grey, not a metallic grey, so it's just grey.
Yeah,
it's not silvery. Next again, a bright emerald green.
Yeah.
And the final one is a golden yellow, like slightly more metallic. This one.
You've missed one.
No, I haven't.
Oh no, you haven't. No, because north is at the top.
Yeah.
What am I talking about?
I said red first.
Yeah, so it's red, blue, indigo, white, black, grey, green, yellow.
Yeah. In that order. And you might be able to guess. I'm much more like happy for people to just go, you lived in this world, so there's a chance to actually know stuff. If you'd like to roll an intelligence check or an arcana check, I don't think you have either of those, but in case, you might get a bit of knowledge as to at least what they would represent, even if you don't know the actual knowledge.
It's the magics.
Pretty much, yeah. He's like, you have some... You're an adventurer, so you've had some magical knowledge. Particularly since actual, like, really knowledgeable spellcasters aren't really a thing in Geddon. Arcana 16, that's good enough.
Yeah, that's actually a really good roll.
Yeah. So what you would know is that each of the lights represents one of the 8 primary groups of magic. Okay? Basically, each light... You don't really know why. You've got a brand on your shoulder which has a light of each different type of magic on it. It's just there. We can get into that in your actual session 0. As to why it's there. But yes, so the red light is life.
Yep. I thought so.
Yep. The blue light is terror. The indigo light is chaos. The white light is arcane. You can probably guess the black light without any requirements whatsoever. It is indeed death. The grey light is divine, or ethereal, whichever one you prefer. Both work. The green light is order. And the gold light is wild, spelt with a Y. And that's what your Arcana check essentially gets you. You can't hide it. You can't hide that mark under clothing or anything like that. Like if you try to cover it with, like it's shining through your potato sack.
Oh.
Essentially, so it is not like crazy obvious, but if people know what they're looking for, yeah, they can spot. If like, anyone can just look at it and go, that's weird. But weird stuff happens in Geddon all the time, so most people, unless they know what they're looking at, are probably just gonna go, bit weird. Right. Now then. Let's get into your session 0.
Got about half an hour.
Yeah, they shouldn't take too long, don't worry.
Cool.
So, you wake up on the ground, about, say, 30 feet from a smoking crater in the ground. And when I say a smoking crater, a big smoking crater, about the size of a small volcano's crater. I give think Hawaii type little mini volcanoes.
Do I have any idea how I got there?
You have roll me an intelligence check. See how hard you were hit on the head. Okay. You have some.
Not doing too bad.
Yes, you're a smart little tanuki. You have some memories of big people, with gruff voices. You were adventuring, you think, somewhere. You can fluff up whatever you want for that particular bit of why you were in a location. Someone hit you really hard over the head, and you remember waking up vaguely in a cell, and a giant eye was looking at you, and a huge talon went out of the eye and touched your shoulder, and it burnt. And now you're waking up. You're on the side of a crater. You're in a big swampy kind of region.
Yuck.
Yeah, not pleasant.
Not
the
a good
water.
track.
Yeah, you can. It's rushes everywhere. There's black, very much tar-like water. It's much thicker than you'd expect for normal water. It does not look safe.
Mm-hmm.
You're fairly sure you can see a path that can get you out of there, though. But the water doesn't smell good at all. You don't even need to make a check to know it's probably bad. It's kind of a grey kind of area, and yeah, it's not very pleasant in general. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna go and have a look at the water and sniff it.
Okay, roll me a perception check with advantage because you have keen smell. Natural 20! Nice! Okay, it is incredibly bad. It is a horrifically just bitter, kind of tarry smell. It's very poisonous. You can just tell that very, the first smell is there is nothing alive in that water, or if there is, you don't want to encounter it. It is...
Don't drink the water.
You drink the water. Okay, roll me a
No, I
constitution.
do not.
Okay!
Don't drink the water.
I'm about to say, Smith found out the bad way what happens if you interact with this water. It nearly killed him. That is deadly poison, that water.
Definitely staying away from that.
Yeah. It is real bad. You can fairly certain you can see a path along. You're quite light-footed, so you're fairly sure you can jump between little clumps of not very well looking rushes, but you're fairly sure you can jump between them and it'll be fine. Though. I'll give you that as the natural 20 just in general.
I'm gonna check my equipment.
Okay, all of your equipment is still there. 100%. Everything is as you left it.
Oh, thank God for that.
Yeah. And you're feeling if you're moving your potato sack around just to see... Yeah. The mark is, you can very clearly tell, it's glowing through the potato sack. It's just very clear through it.
Yeah.
But if you're moving the potato sack around, the mark's not moving with it. It's staying where your shoulder is.
Okay.
It still kind of aches a little bit, actually,
Yeah.
the mark.
I'm gonna move the potato sack and see if it is on the skin.
It is, yeah. It is blazing with lights straight out of it.
That irritating. Okay.
Yeah. The only path you can really see, by the way, is northwards. Right at the moment.
I'm gonna start going north then.
Okay. Make me a dexterity check. Or it'd be acrobatics if you have it. Yeah. You don't, so it's just a dexterity check. I'll turn off your character sheet now. Yeah, you easily are able to just bounce between each of the rushes set. So it goes on for quite a ways, but you're not even like breaking stride. This is just normal for you. You're just going boing, 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 boing,
Yeah.
boing, boing.
That's because I'm awesome.
Yep.
Not going to attempt to flip because you'll make me roll acrobatic.
Correct. I will. You know me too well. But yeah, you're making good like headway and good time. After a couple hours, there's a lot of swamp. You are able to get to a point where it is just water. Like, still pretty murky water, but it's water. It doesn't smell bad. You can see things living in it. So, you're out of the poisonous swamp. Okay. So now that you're out of the poisonous swamp, yeah, you're basically just in a large sections. Think the Dead Marshes, but not as creepy, honestly.
Yeah.
It's much more lively. Now that you're out of the swamp, there's more types of animal that you can see around. Like, there's birds. You can see fish in the water. You can see big things swimming in the water as well, but you've probably been to this area before. I mean, you're in exile, so you were travelling around, so you've probably been to this country at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know where I am.
you've got you know which country you're in, probably. It's kind of a well-known one. You are in Netris.
Okay.
It's well known for gigantic swamps that are some of the most dangerous places in the world. But it is the realm of the Demon Queen, Varia Blackwing. That is her domain. She is the only known demon ruler left, which is the highest category of demon. Because her dad got curb stomped into the dirt. Yeah, now that you are out of the immensely dangerous area, you're in the other immensely dangerous area. What would you like to do?
Check if there's any tracks.
Tracks.
Anything. Yeah, I'm looking for signs of life that is the same size as me, or anything bigger that might try to eat me.
Okay, roll me survival with advantage, please. Because currently you're on a little, like, mini floating island, essentially, in this swamp. But something is happening. Yeah, not natural 20, dirty 20. Dirty 20, you can see a few very large things in the water.
Yeah.
So some very big. You think you're peering down. You can see like drag marks being one of the big ones on the island you're in. For something that is probably about 10 feet wide and very heavy. So with your survival check, probably like a crocodile, but a very big crocodile.
Yeah.
That kind of things. And with the survival check of 20, you would see a little ways off, like a couple of islands over, what appears to be a broken camp. Like the remains of like a fire pit, bit of a couple of things that are bent in a certain way that they were fairly recently. There was like a little lean-to possibly put up there or something. And there's some like mostly humanoid tracks around it. Look, they must have been scuffed out a bit, but still identifiable.
Well, that's where I want to go.
Okay.
Because I want to raid the place.
Fair enough. You would... Would you... No, you wouldn't see that, actually. Yeah, okay. So, yeah. You, how would you like to get over there? It's a couple islands over. There's not much of a, gap, but would you like to just fall and just dive into the water and start swimming?
Try. Would I be able to jump it, do you think?
No.
Because I... Okay. then I'm gonna have to try and swim, aren't I?
You probably could. You may be able to, like, find a way around, but swimming seems the most obvious option.
I'm also not that intelligent, and even though I know there are big things in the water, I'm gonna hope I might be able to outswim them.
Maybe, there's a chance.
Yeah.
Okay, roll me athletics, which is your good stat. That's not a good one. That ain't a good roll. Okay. Let me have a roll myself. I'm naturally using my real dice because then you don't get to see modifiers and things, which is very fun. Okay. You get to the island without incident. Like, you swim pretty quick across, like, you power through, you get up onto the shore, and you go, oh, fair enough.
Right. I'm raiding the camp, and when I say raiding, I'm gonna, anything that I don't like the look of is just getting torn up. Yeah, trash panda style.
Gotcha. Okay, roll me investigation, please. Let's see what they left behind. Investigation 11. Okay, there's a few, like, little... There's not much. Like, they were fairly, well... They were fairly organised with their, like, pack down.
Mm-hmm.
You see a couple of scraps of, like, remains of rations and things. Without investigation, though, you did get one thing. There was some heavy... there was, like, a heavy vehicle also in this area that you can now see. There's, like, you see the remains of, like, what looks like a cart tracks and a large hoofed animal. It was on this, which is kind of weird. On a little island in the middle of a lake, that there was a hoofed animal.
Yeah.
But that does appear to be what was there. And yeah, you don't get anything of value, essentially. There's a few bits and pieces, but nothing that is particularly noteworthy.
Anything shiny goes in the loot bag.
Yeah, there wouldn't be anything shiny. You can find some charcoal, if you'd like that. But that's the only, like...
From the loot bag.
Yeah. You get,
Some wizard parts.
roll me a d5.
Not done this in so long. Do I have to actually type roll, or can I just forward slash it?
Slash roll. 1d5.
I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, slash rolls there.
Yeah. Let's see what you get. 3. You get 3 sticks of charcoal.
I am going to use up one of them straight away
Okay.
by writing trash was here, as in was W-A-Z, on the floor.
Fair enough, you use up 1 charcoal to leave this message. It's like in the dirt, essentially. It's like in the goopy, moist ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, ear as in E-R-E, no H.
Nice. Yeah, you leave that, and yeah, you can't really see any particular other tracks leading away from the island on account of, you know, it being an island.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of hard to track things through water. But yeah, that is what you've found.
Okay.
Would you like
And
to?
no other signs of people or anything like that?
No, though this you got an 11 investigation. That's better than a 10, so I'll give you this. It looks like it was 24 hours ish.
Okay.
Was when the camp was broken.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay.
Would you like to roll me a nature check? Or nature or survival, actually, either one. I imagine survival, because you actually have a stat for that. Yeah.
Oh, God.
I remember. You're not really sure where you are in Netris being the main problem that you've currently got.
Yeah.
But you know Netris is is the southern part of the continent of Allura. So going north's probably not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know
Okay.
which part, because there's various things could happen depending on which part of Netris you're in. But North's never a bad shout, because North is leaving Netris.
Yeah. No, is the way I'm going.
Yeah. Okay. So you travel for a little bit, like about a bad day. We'll go with of
Okay.
avoiding various giant monsters, essentially, which would be you'd see a very, very contented-looking Hydra swim past you at some point. It's very, very big, so you definitely would have kept down for that.
Yeah.
Various like large crocodiles, large fish, that kind of stuff. Occasional snake, that kind of thing. Yeah, there's plenty of animals you can eat as well, like there's normal fish and things.
Yeah.
If you want to do anything like that.
Well, I would have had to, eat and do the normal thing. I would have been doing that as I went along.
Yeah, I'm assuming as an experienced adventurer, you'd be able to make at least like a day's worth of rations from just while on the move. So don't lose any of your rations, essentially.
Nice.
It's a very well. There's a lot of things to eat in this area. You're not in like any starvation zones or anything like that, so it's not too difficult. So yeah, you keep going northwards for like a couple days. There's not really much sign of any humans or humanoids, I guess would be a better term, honestly, in Geddon.
Villages or anything.
Yeah, nothing really you know about. But you keep going north for a couple days, and essentially you'd end up, eventually, after a good bit of travel, on the edge of like it's starting to go from full-on swamp to much more sandy, like kind of, imagine like the beaches in, where would it be? Like the beach, just a beach on like the British coast, so like greyish sand, which is still soaked.
Ah.
Like it's all very damp sand.
Yeah. Any shiny rocks?
Roll me investigation. Roll me a d6. You find 3 quite shiny rocks. They are nice, they are white. They appear to be polished quite nicely.
I got 3 shiny rocks.
Yes.
In the loot bag they go.
Roll me intelligence check. Yep, just white shiny rocks. Nothing bad about them at all. They're just white shiny rocks.
Yeah, they're not eggs. Honest, they're not. There's no way these could be eggs.
Don't worry, they're not eggs. There's something more disturbing but less dangerous.
Okay.
So yeah, you're on the edge of like this bit of like scrubby. Yeah, there's still water everywhere, but it's much more like ground. You're having to swim. You're not really having to swim much in this area. Roll me perception check, sight based, so no advantage. Yeah, okay. Yeah, just kind of barren, really.
Oh, annoying.
You can see vaguely in the distance, though, like the outline of something very, very tall. Like, not a figure. Like, as far as you can see in either direction, there's just, like, I imagine there's a gigantic wall just off in the distance, but you can't quite make it out because of mist, but you can just see there is something gigantic just in the distance.
Okay.
To the
I'm
north.
gonna go towards the gigantic thing.
Okay.
There might be civilization, we'll see.
We shall see indeed. Okay, so you're walking for a little ways, and yep, okay. You suddenly just stop.
Okay.
You're quite just like as if you walked into something. Like a glass wall, it's about at your waist. Like you feel just like a pressure in your waist. You look down, you can't see anything.
I can feel it though.
You can very much feel it. It's like...
Can.
What would be the description? It's very, very sturdy. It's like... Can you imagine a rope that's about as thick as your arm, completely invisible as far as you're concerned, and incredibly strong, and also very, very sticky.
Can I ping it?
And like flick it.
Yeah. I want to see if it makes a sound.
You flick it, and your finger is stuck to it.
It's the spiders. I'm gonna try and cut it.
Okay, what are you using to cut? Okay. You try to cut it. The dagger sticks to it.
Oh, god damn it. I'm not letting go of my dagger. This is my dagger. I'm gonna start getting pissed off at it. I'm gonna rage. Just
yeah.
Calm.
Yep. You're also stuck, by the way, from one of... Currently you're stuck by... You're holding your dagger, which is stuck to it.
Yep.
Your stomach is stuck to it. And one of your fingers is stuck to it. Of your other hand.
And now I'm just raging.
Yep.
Out of you stupid invisible piece of rope, I don't want it.
Out of curiosity, which augmentation do you use? You get to pick when you rage which beast part you get.
I was gonna go tail.
Tail? Okay.
Yeah.
A long, lashing tail of whatever you want it to look like appears out of your body as you're used to.
Yeah. I'm going kind of, scaly, but black and white.
Fair.
And of course, it's immediately going to get stuck to this.
Totally a rope, don't worry about it.
Totally a rope.
Yeah, you just lash down onto it and it just gets stuck, and you try pulling it away and it's not budging.
Can I sense any iron that would be helpful in this occasion?
Outside?
Any deposits in the ground, or...
Not really. Other than your weapons, there's not really any in the area.
Damn it. It's all too far away.
Yeah, pretty much. It's not a particularly uncommon thing here, but it's also not common, and you're in kind of like a big sand dune at the moment. So,
yeah.
The metals you like to find just aren't iron, essentially.
Okay. When I'm looking around, do I see anything else stuck in midair?
Roll a perception check. This would actually be with advantage, this particular one, because it would be basically anything, any other sense you could use for it, so roll again. Yeah. No, not really. It's actually weirdly silent. Like, the whole area. You're noticing now the entire area is, like, weirdly quiet. Like, a lot more quiet than you'd expect of somewhere in a swamp. Like, for the past, like, week or so.
Oh, God.
All there's been is just constant noise. Of, like, buzzing insects or fish splashing, that kind of thing. It's eerily quiet. Yeah, there's nothing in this area.
Oh crap, I'm dead. I'm dead. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you like to roll me a either nature check or arcana check? I think they're probably the same modifier, but you never know.
We are.
You don't have to, but you can if you'd like.
Just do it.
5. You have no idea what is happening.
Yeah. I've woken up. I've been walking for a week. I have this glowing mark on my shoulder, and now I'm stuck to an invisible barrier.
Yeah. You've had better at times.
I'm going to try and use my key to dash away from it.
Okay, make me a strength saving throw. Yeah, you don't even budge. It is very firmly stuck to you.
Oh, damn.
It is incredibly solid.
Hi.
It'd be like, for a rough estimate, it'd be like trying to move two electromagnets away from each other.
These are your protein bits.
Sorry, Lainey's eating.
It's fine.
I am gonna try again.
Okay. Go for it. Oh, you actually get advantage on this because Barbarian Rage.
See, I've not played Barbarian before, so it's... doesn't matter, it's a 15.
Yeah, you're not even budging. It is, again, really, really firmly attached to you.
Oh, you eat it. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you're thrashing around. Like, it is bouncing a little. Like, you're definitely moving it, but you're not coming away from it, or you're not really moving outside of, like, a foot from it.
Yes.
It's extremely firmly attached. Okay.
I'm gonna use my breath weapon.
Okay. Which element?
I'm gonna try and freeze it cold.
Fraser. Okay. Roll for it.
So... two rolls of my martial arts. Okay, so the way this is worded, so it's a dex saving throw against my key save.
It's an object, it automatically fails.
Yeah. And then taking damage of the chosen type equal to 2 rolls of my martial arts die.
Okay.
What's my martial arts die?
You're level 3? I think it's a D4. I don't think it's a D6 yet. I think it's level 5 it gets to a D6. I'll just
So
check.
it's rolling 2d4 then.
Yeah, 2D4. Yeah, it's still D4.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I will say, it is immune to cold damage. But, I will also say, because you basically breathe out this big blast of ice onto it, the ice is actually, like, forming on the outside of it, so you can actually see it now. That is one thing. It is pretty much what you expect. It is a, like, almost, really quite thick, basically invisible rope of some description. Honestly, I can tell you, because you're outside a character, you know it's a spider web. It is a giant piece of spider web that is currently attached to you.
So, because my breath attack is a cone,
Yes.
20 foot, do I see any more? Or is
Oh,
it just the one?
that's a good question.
Yeah,
Yes, you
so-
do see more. You see quite a lot of them at various angles, essentially. You'd see an absolute ton of them. Some of them are much thicker than the one that's currently attached to you.
Yeah.
Like I'd say within 20 feet you can get like 4 or 5 of about the same width as yours. And probably 2 or 3 of like, there'd be like one which is about as thick as your entire body. And one you just catch the edge of, which is much larger than that.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
its sheer width is bigger than you are.
Okay. I think from that, I would have kind of assumed it's a spider web.
You probably go spider web, maybe, or something magic, maybe, or spider web, because you don't know that they're spiders because you failed the intelligence check earlier.
Yeah. But I'm gonna assume that something is going to come and try and grab me, so I'm just basically preparing for a fight.
Okay, that's
Even
fair.
though, yes, I have one hand stuck, I'm gonna let go of the dagger. I am aware I'm probably gonna lose my dagger. Yeah, and basically preparing to fight off whatever is gonna try and get me.
That is very fair. Okay. Because you actually have been thrashing, it doesn't take too long for a couple of things to show up.
Yeah.
Essentially, what would show up... I'll actually roll to see which ones show up. Okay. Right. 5 creatures show up.
Yeah.
3 of them are massive spiders. Like, you'd estimate about a little bit bigger than a cart horse. Really big white spiders, heavily armored bodies, like glowing red eyes, the whole shebang. Like, they're fairly, like, you've seen similar before, possibly. Not this exact type, but you've seen similar. Bit more heavily armored, probably, than the ones you've seen before, admittedly, but most likely. Like, imagine tarantula, but not as furry. Would be the best description. Much more like armored, segmented armor. But still, tarantula otherwise. You would see one, which would, rough size, would be... what would be a decent comparison? For your player, I'll go with it. I'll go with your player. About a similar size to a T-Rex. Absolutely gigantic creature. About 60 feet long, huge, heavy armor. A bit of black appearing on parts of it, but otherwise looks the same as the smaller ones.
Yeah.
It's just a much larger variant. With bits of black shading into it. Still towering thing. But those ones don't hold a candle to the big one. One spider shows up. This spider, in actual size category, is a size colossal creature. So about 200 feet long. Parts of its body are much more heavily shaded into the black, but it is still like a big white spider. This got more eyes than the others. And its body armor looks much more like durable than the others, and it has a bit more battle damage on it. You'd see. And these spiders start completely silently walking up towards you. When I say silently, they'd be chittering. But
a more intelligent creature would probably try to talk to them. I am not intelligent. Come at me, you 38-legged freaks. Ah!
What languages do you speak?
Common, Draconic, Elvish, Giant.
Yeah, none of them. Okay. As far as you're concerned, you just hear weird chittering as you're saying this, essentially. Like, they're chittering to each other, all other spiders.
Yeah.
At various pitches. But you have no idea if they're saying anything or if this is just a noise they make.
Yeah.
The 3 smaller spiders start, like, circling around towards you. The bigger one... I'd say the medium one, let's go with, even though it's huge. Starts, like, moving, striding much more confidently towards you, and the really big one is staying back and just watching.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna hit whatever comes close enough to be hit.
It would be one of the little ones first.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just, because this is the session 0, I'll give you that your rage is still there. It shouldn't, but this is just because it's session 0. And your tail is still stuck.
Yeah. I'm just gonna punch with, like, one arm.
Yeah, you're gonna punch with your, the arm you let go of the dagger with. Roll me an attack. So, the spider just nimbly, like, dodges back out of the way. It was quite a wide miss. And it starts chittering more excitedly.
Do I still get my extra attack?
Yeah.
And I'm out of key, so I can't,
Yeah, you can't, like, mega
flurry.
21 hits! It like, moves slightly back in, and you wait just long enough, and you, like, lash out with a leg and kick it, and it screeches a little bit. And like it raises the leg off the ground that you just pondered essentially, and starts chittering a bit more, slightly angrily. You think maybe? It did take damage, so it is not immune to magical bludgeoning. Oh yeah, that's the point. We would have kept him as bludgeoning, right? Because you can actually change him.
Well, this is because, of course, I can't use my tail. This is just the normal punches and kicks, which are just bludgeoning.
You can change them because you're the dragon monk.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Draconic disciples. Ah, yeah, of course.
You can change it to any of the chromatic dragon types, essentially.
Yeah, I can.
So would you like them to be bludgeoning? Or...
Fire.
Fire! Okay, then it would definitely start being angry. It does not like fire.
Because I have a feeling acid or poison.
Yeah, you've got a feeling. You don't even need to roll to know. Spiders, poison. Probably not a good bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really do not like fire. They are vulnerable to fire, actually. So it screeches. It's like burnt leg. I didn't do too much damage to it, but it's still... You've pissed it off. You've definitely pissed it off. It definitely would be angrily chittering at you.
That's basically my plan, is to keep hitting it.
Okay, well, it's gonna try and bite you. Because it just would. It's mad now, so even if the others told it not to, it would just go for you. So, let's roll an attack. And because you are actually restrained by its... by the rope, it gets advantage on this attack. Does a 28 hit? I think it does. Okay. You are taking... You're raging, so you are halving the first part of this.
Yep.
22 points of piercing damage. And make me a con save, please. 23 makes it. So you're taking half of this, and you are not getting the really bad effects. 25 points of poison damage, so halving it down to 12. Yeah. You feel like the big ass fangs of the spider like sink into you and inject some poison, which really hurts, but you're feeling alright.
Yeah.
And I'm taking a second attack with its claws, because these spiders can do that. They get one attack with the claws, though. Does a 16 hit?
Yes.
Okay. You're halving this just flat. It's slashing, as it just brings the claw that you literally punched with fire around. It brings it down on you for 15 points of slashing damage, so halving it down to 7. Yeah, you've definitely made it mad. How do you respond to it just like jumping on you, like biting into you and slashing you?
Like that. My trash rack is insane.
Maniacal laughter. Okay.
And then I'll punch again.
Okay, yeah. The other spiders are kind of waiting back at this point.
Where do you think you're going?
Fire,
17
of course.
does not hit. $13 also does not hit. It like clangs neatly off of it. Like it's caught on to how you're fighting now, and it like moves its arm and just like slightly bats your fist out of the way. Like it hits you about at the elbow. It just sends your fist going the wrong way. Okay. You hear it chitter, and you hear a couple of the other spiders chitter at it, and it backs off. You do get an attack opportunity if you like.
Yep.
Okay.
the way.
Oh, don't worry, it's not going to last too much longer. Yep, so you swing, misses again. Like it's backed off too quickly. So yeah, basically that was the intro little bit there, and essentially we can basically cut to it basically as all the spiders, all the three of the smaller spiders close in and just start chomp, 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 chomp.
Oh, one with the hit.
That would have hit actually, yeah. Boom! You've really pissed off. So you are basically bitten a lot, and eventually you're going to basically fail a con save because they're going to keep biting you. And it's basically a incapacitating venom is the one they're using, which basically it gives you essentially as if you're at 0 hit points.
Yeah.
As long as you have got the poison status on you, but doesn't actually require you to go to 0. It's just a way to do that.
Yeah.
And that would and basically you feel, the last thing you feel as you're losing consciousness is them starting to wrap you up in webbing. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much, that is your session 0 as you fade into unconsciousness.
Sounds fun. Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. But that is basically how you are getting to the Palace of the Spider Queen. And hilariously, because you didn't speak any of the languages, you had no idea that's where they're taking you. They do speak common, so they actually understood you. They just chose not to speak back.
I blame them. I was pretty rude.
Pretty much. Also, the three of those are babies. So. The big one's not. The big one's quite old. But yeah, that is the Geddon Session 0 for the Trash Rack character, which will be joining us on the next Geddon session, which is on the 9th? Nope, not on the 9th. It's explicitly not on the 9th. On the 16th. So look forward to that, guys. Thank you, Steph, for joining.
Yeah.
Hope you had a nice bit of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing how this character interacts with the rest of the party. So, have a fantastic evening, every single one of you. Keep playing video games, keep being awesome. You guys are the best on Twitch. I'll see you guys tomorrow where I'll be playing more Cyberpunk. See you guys, have a fantastic time. Good night!
Then you found your top.